Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Coffee with Carlson. Thank you for being here. My name is Jeff Carlson. Today, we're going to talk about the advanced child tax credit and how it will affect you. This was a suggestion from in the comments from last week's show. Someone asked that I go through and just talk about it for a few minutes. I really appreciate that. I love to hear things from viewers and clients on what's important to them and how things affect them. You might notice that I'm a little scruffy this morning. Jessica and I leave tomorrow afternoon for about a week and a half off. We're going to the Dirty Dancing Lodge in Virginia. That might sound kind of weird, but it's the place where the movie was filmed, Kellerman's. It's an actual hotel in the mountains in Virginia. We're going to head up there for a few days. Then we're going to go see one of my buddies in Vermont. And so we're going to drive around and just have some fun and do some reading along the way and hopefully have some adventures. Before we get started today, shout out to Strangely Warmed Coffee. I have it in my thermal mug today, not my branded mug, but get yourself a cup, stop by Legacy Bicycles, grab some beans, K-cups, whatever your flavor is, and have some. Or if you're remote and you're outside of our area, you can also pick it up right on Amazon. Make sure you go to smile.amazon.com. If you're going to use the platform, you might as well make a local charity happy by giving them some extra money. I'd also today, I thought I made some notes here somewhere, but you can see my notes. They get all, no, you can't even see that. The thing's too bright. Child tax credit today. I'm trying to keep better track of my topics as well, so we know what's going on. And shout out to my clients. We have a lot of clients, a lot of business clients. Try to give a shout out to them. We also have several clients that compete against another. Rest assured, we'll mention your name if you compete with one of the people that we bring out. It's good for us. It's good for the client because it gives all of us a nice round perspective on multiple different businesses in different areas. Today's shout out, Dr. Albert Ruiz, my buddy over there on the other side of the lake. Albert Ruiz, the local dentist. He's just before you get to Hammock Road on the north side between Kia and Hammock Road. Stop in there and see him. Give him a call. Great dentist. He won't hurt you too bad, your pocketbook or your mouth. So give Albert a call and Dr. Ruiz and support him for helping to support this wonderful channel and this show. All right, it looks like we're live. Everything's going real well. My wife's even out of bed this morning. Good morning, wife. Hope you're having a good day and feeling good. All right, so child tax credit. So we're just going to talk about this for just a minute. The Biden administration has just released, well, a month or so ago, the increase in the child tax credit. Here's the part that's I'm going to talk first about the mechanics of the credit. How much is it? How do you get it? Then I'm going to talk about what impact that's going to have on you when you file your 2021 tax returns. I think a lot of you are going to be surprised. You may have already watched a YouTube video on it, but there's no better channel to get this kind of information than from this guy right here. I mean, who has one of these, right? Oh, look, I almost pointed right at it. All right. In the past, child tax credit has been $2,000 per child under age 17. Now that kind of sucks for those of us that have an 18-year-old that's in college because you don't get the help, but you've got a lot more expensive because college isn't covered by your local property taxes like K through 12 is. So if your income was under $400,000 for a married couple, you're getting $2,000 per child at the end of the year, which was a direct reduction in your taxes of the $2,000. So effectively giving you $2,000 less taxes. Okay, for every child under 17. So if you had two kids, that was $4,000. The Biden administration has recently increased that. They call it the new child tax credit, but actually it's a temporary increase in the existing child tax credit. So you're not going to get that $2,000 plus the $3,000 or $3,600. You're only going to get one of them. It's a temporary increase in that amount. That's a very important differentiation to make. It's not new or an addition to the $2,000 that you already got. So the temporary increase is $3,000 per child under age 17 and an additional $600 or $3,600 if you have children under 6. So that helps out with the cost of diapers and maybe some daycare expenses. So it increases it $1,000 or $1,600 per child for 2021. Now, the difference between prior years getting the $2,000 and today is that the Biden administration has made that credit advance, which means they're going to start sending those checks out very soon to everyone that's eligible. If you're eligible based on your 19 or 20 tax return, you probably already received a letter stating that you're going to start getting it. So instead of waiting until the end of the year, you're going to start getting it every month for the next 4 months or so until the end. But here's the caveat. So that's how you get it, how you qualify, basically. If you don't file a tax return, you may be able to go onto the IRS website and fill out a form there to kind of like you did for the previous stimuluses. If you didn't normally file a tax return, you could go on there and file for that so that you can qualify. But here's the scary part for me, and I'm already seeing it from last year's stimulus checks. Last year's stimulus checks, we had lots of clients, and we specifically asked 2 questions on our intake form. Did you get the first credit for $1,200 stimulus for $1,200 last year? And then did you get the $600 per person stimulus in the beginning of 2021? And we asked all the clients that so we could properly report their tax return, because it was a credit against 2020's income taxes, an advance credit. We're already seeing letters from the IRS where people gave us the wrong amounts. And it's not hard to do. The IRS didn't report it to you at the end of the year, and some of that money came in over a year ago. So it's kind of tough to remember back then. I didn't forget it. I probably wouldn't forget if someone gave me $1,200 to free money, but it happens sometimes. So we're seeing the IRS starting to true that up and give letters. So remember this: if last year you were a single mom with 2 kids and you worked, when you filed your tax return, say you got a $3,000 back in your pocket last year in 2020's tax return, you got a $3,000 refund into your pocket. Maybe if you had 2 children, you got a $4,000 advance credit. In 2020, if you had gotten the $4,000 prior to filing your tax return, then you could have actually owed $1,000. So think about this very carefully. This advance credit, and I believe you can elect out of it if you don't want to get it. I don't recommend that. You just need to think about your withholding and what impact it's going to have on your 2021 tax return. If you have 2 children and you get the credit in advance, you're definitely going to get less of a refund than you normally get, but there's a good chance you might owe taxes at the end of the year as well. So be very careful in those calculations, because in the new W-4, you actually take that calculation into account when you're trying to figure out what your proper withholdings for 2021 should be. So if you've already done that, you might want to go back in and rework those numbers. It's a very lengthy form with lots of pages, but go rework those numbers to try and see if you're going to owe any additional taxes at the end of the year. What we see frequently is that the credit accounts for the refund that you get. So during the year, you actually withhold very little on your regular paycheck. If that happens this year and you get the advance credit, meaning you have very low withholding, you get the advance credit, at the end of 2021, chances are you're going to be under withheld, meaning you would have paid too little tax along the way, and you're probably going to owe some money. It's very important because you're going to get the money to help you now, the help that you need. But if any chance possible for you to, if you can afford to not use that money, my recommendation would be to set it aside in a savings account, earn some interest. Don't invest it in highly speculative things like cryptocurrencies or the latest meme stock of the day like AMC or GameStop or any of that sort of thing. Put it in some safe savings account. Wait until you file your tax return and then see if you're going to owe taxes. And you would have a little bit of a cushion there to make sure that you don't. If you don't owe taxes at the end of the year when you file your return, then maybe you just get a windfall and you've got some extra money. But be very careful in your tax situation. What I would recommend doing is looking at your 2020 income tax return on page 2 toward the top. It'll say right on there what your child tax credit is. It's kind of in the middle. It'll say $2,000 or $4,000. Follow that down to the total tax you owe and how much your withholding was. And you can do some simple math. So take your total refund, subtract that $4,000 from it, and see where you end up. That would kind of give you a very rough idea of where you might end up at 2021. So again, look at your tax return. I don't have my other computer here, so I'm not really sure how to screen share this computer, so I can't pull it up right now. But look on page 2 of your 1040. Look toward the top. It'll say child tax credit. You'll have a number in there, $2,000 or $4,000. Compare that to your refund and see where you would fall. If you need any help with that or you want to look at it, doing calculations like that and what ifs for people, that is a billable expense. So we don't do that for free, but we could take a look at your tax return real quick and just tell you, based on your 2020 return, what we think is going to happen in 2021, all things remaining equal, but not redoing your return or trying to get into the mechanics of what your 2021 income tax return would be. That would basically be calculating your tax return. There would be a fee for that. But if you want an initial consultation, you want to talk to me, have me take a quickly look at your 2020 tax return to see how it might impact you, give us a call at Carlson Accounting, 863-382-4141. Go to our webpage, carlsonaccounting.com. You can schedule an appointment for me right there on our webpage and stop by and see us. You won't be able to do that until probably the 6th of July. Like I said, we're going to leave tomorrow afternoon. We won't be back in town until probably late on the 5th or early on the 6th. So my calendar will be open. We appreciate you watching this morning. I hope you're enjoying this fantastic Florida weather. It hasn't been too awfully hot, although cleaning up yesterday was kind of hot outside. But I hope you're enjoying the beautiful Florida weather. Get outside, spend some time outside in the outdoors. Go to one of the local beaches. Go to the lake. Go out to the hammock. Do some hiking. Do something outside this summer and enjoy yourself. We'll see you next Monday. I haven't decided if I'm going to record it in advance or if Jess and I might record it while we're on the road. But we'll have a great topic for you next week, and we'll see you then on Coffee with Carlson. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate you spending the morning with me, and have another cup of Strangely